What is going on, boys and girls? We're going to be looking at a match today between Team Paradigm here in the red, playing off against Matchless Gaming in the blue. Now, Team Paradigm's setup is the Engineer, Guardian, Warrior, Mesmer, Necro setup. We've seen them play before. I believe this is their European team. I think they have a North American and a European team, and this is their EU one. So they're a pretty tight-knit group, and there's only 5 of them, I believe, and they play really well. They are going to probably be using the Guardian as a point defender and probably the Engineer as well. The Warrior will probably play a roaming role, and the Mesmer and Necro are pretty supporting roles. That's a pretty normal way to play it. But of course, these things change depending on how the match goes. You know, if they feel like they don't need to have a point defender, they'll probably swap him over to a bit more of an attacking role. So we'll see how that goes for them. Matchless Gaming are playing an Engineer, Guardian, Warrior, NG and Ranger. Now you can take the same guess here. Probably the Guardian and the Ranger will be playing defending roles, and the Warrior and Ellie will be playing more roaming roles to try and kill people, keep them on their respawn timer, and that's probably how this will go. But of course, things are very much open to change depending on how the game goes. We are going to be playing on Forest of Nifel. Now, Forest of Nifel is an interesting map. They have nerfed the 2 bosses down to giving only 25 points, but they still give that big buff. But it does mean there is a noticeable change in the early gameplay. Not so many people are going for that sort of powerful 4-1 split or even a 3-1-1 split that we've been seeing. But it does appear most people go for the 4-1 split, but they normally send 4 over to the actual mine or keep, or over to their henge if they're playing on the blue side, and that's probably what we'll see for today from Team Paradigm. We are going to be following Ajin, who is Team Paradigm's Guardian, and also Moldran, who is Team Paradigm's Warrior. So let's get into the game here. We're going to be following Moldran for the beginning bit here. As you can see, he's rocking a 2-handed setup, which gives him really solid burst in conjunction with his 7, 8 and 9 skill, which is Bull's Charge on the 7, Balance Stance on the 8 and Frenzy on the 9. Frenzy giving you a lot more damage, but you take more damage, and Balance Stance giving you stability, so fear and stuff doesn't work on you. He's running Signet as his elite, which is really good in combination with his burst class, but obviously on a less cooldown, and it doesn't give you the stability of the banner as well. So as you can see, they have gone for a 2-1-2 split, 1 over to the keep to cap that, 2 over to their safe on the mine, and 2 over here to try and cause a bit of an issue when it comes to that chieftain, as well as try and nuking down. But it doesn't look like it's going too well. Moldran's trying to get down this Engineer as quickly as possible, because he does see that is the weakest link in this party at the moment. He goes for it as best he can, but there's a lot of buffs going on, and Moldran himself go down very quickly, and Team Paradigm have actually just lost their Necromancer, so Rayon is down, so this is going to be a 4 versus 5 match for the beginning. As you can see, swapping over to Ajin here on the keep, really just trying to nuke down this Guardian. They're at a bit of a stone wall here because both of them are point defenders, so they're trying to do as much damage as they can. Ajin's got a bit of an upper hand here. He's putting a lot more damage, but also has more skills available. He does have that Tome of Courage on the 10 there, which will give him that all-around healing if he needs it in the end, and providing no one actually comes and harasses him before he gets it up. But it is now a 2 versus 1, and Ajin is in a bad situation here. He's swapping over to that Tome of Courage, but is going very low, trying to spam that 1 just to give himself that little bit of an extra time. Goes for the 5 heal. Is he going to pull it off? I don't think he will. I think he's going too low, and Ajin does go down. Bit of a shame there. That does mean Team Paradigm are on a back foot. 2 of their harassment zones have gone. Moldran here, as you can see, trying to push the henge really hard here. Runs into this hunter. Can see that he does have a bit of a break in the armor, and can possibly push this point very hard. He is good enough to burst. He's used all 4 of his cooldowns though. The Ranger really has mitigated it. He himself, I believe, plays a Warrior. I think I've heard that when I've seen Matchless Gaming stuff themselves, and it does look as if he knows exactly where Moldran's trying to attack. He's really managed to block off that Frenzy stun, and Moldran is going down. Both of them are down though, and it will depend who gets that teammate coming in or who can nuke it down first. Ranger does have a bit of an advantage here, having that bear already up for him, so he is doing a bit more damage, but it does look as though Zeph has come to the rescue, is now taking down that Ranger, and that will mean Moldran is going to get that rally, and they probably will be able to secure this point. Ajin has now come to meet them, and it does look like they're going for the backside slide, as you can see, going back around to the keep, because they do need to push it here. As you can see, they do have both the side points, but they really do want that keep. It's a solid bit of map control. There's no particular reason to spread out on the map anymore. The boss mobs really aren't that worthwhile when it comes to points versus time, so a lot of people prefer to go for that just all around map control rather than going for that push. Moldran popping his Signet there to give himself that extra buff to try and get on the point as quickly as possible. They want to take it down. Swapping over to Moldran's point of view, you can see he's nuking this guy down. He hasn't used Balance Stance, he doesn't see a reason to, but he has used Frenzy, and this guy is going down very quickly. Moldran's putting a lot of damage here. He has popped Sanctuary there and is using his bubble here, and if he can get it off, it is going to be an issue, but it does look like they've taken him down. Really nicely played there. Had they not managed to get him down before he got that big Tome of Courage heal off, they would have been in a bad situation. They would have been left out in the dust, having to fight another Guardian who would have been able to hold out for at least a little while. Swapping over to Ajin here, we can see they are going to push back round to the henge now. because they are actually losing out on both side points. They are being capped on the henge side, which is pretty common when it comes to this setup for the map. As you can see, the blue team is obviously going to come out on the blue side, which is the left-hand side closest to the henge. Chieftain does come back up, and that does mean they know where the players are going to be. They're going to be over there. Swapping over to Molden, because Molden's heading in. He sees this engineer again from the beginning, goes for the revenge kill, and does get him down there. And he is going to go for the stomp. He's also pretty well timed here, because if you watch the timings, you would have been able to see that Svarnir, the other boss mob here, is coming back up in a second, and Molden does know that. He's got another teammate around him, and I think they're just going to wait. Chieftain goes to the blue team, but the red team, Team Paradigm, are still ahead. Matchless Gaming are pulling pretty well though. They're keeping pretty even, but Molden does know this boss is coming up soon. They are in a better position points wise as well. They have those 2 points compared to that 1 for Matchless Gaming. Molden nukes this guy down, pops Frenzy as well as Bull's Charge, and he goes down very, very quickly, Svarnir does, and that gives them the extra point boost in. Giving them a bit of a lead here, 30 points in the mid game, which does make up that difference. You know, all they need to hold that is for as long as possible. As you can see, Ajin is now fighting this warrior and this guardian again. The warrior's getting very low, but he is trying to line of sight. They have called target on him. They really do want him down. The guardian has gone down. Molden's joined in, and it does look like they're going to be able to clean this up pretty well. Nice play by Team Paradigm, calling in those players. They really have shown pretty solid call-outs for this. Matchless Gaming, though, have been exactly where they need to be throughout the entire game, though. If you look what they've done, they really have quelled everything Team Paradigm was trying to throw at them, and they really haven't pulled that far ahead. You know, they're pulling ahead now, but only by about 40 or so points. They're not head and shoulders above Matchless Gaming here. There's still time for Matchless to pull it back. They are really, really pushing this keep hard. This other guardian on their team has been really solid about being there whenever he needs to be. Every single time he respawns, he's been there, and he's lasted for a very long time. As you can see, Ajin is just going for that stomp there. They are just trying to clean up as best they can. Molden knows to go for the double stomp. He doesn't want the engineer to pull him over in the down state. This other engineer does go down, and they have cleaned up the keep really well. And they are now capping the henge with one of their players. They're moving out to the mine. They know they need to spread out a bit more. They know they need to be in loads of places now. They really, really do need to play it back up. The Necro did come back up a little while ago. I didn't call out because I didn't notice fully, but I have now seen there are 5 players on this team, so it is back to pretty even, which is probably why Team Paradigm are pulling ahead again, because they were obviously down before. They are pushing the henge now. They know all of the players around there, and they really just need to hold them here. If they can just try and kill them. Ajin going for the lockdown there, really just trying to cause a bit of havoc. He's not trying to kill people, he's not trying to do much, he's just trying to hold on and keep them busy. You can see Molden's kiting people around the henge. They really just want to keep these players busy. You know, killing them's a bit of a hassle with the entire team there, but if they can keep them busy, if they can keep them off the points, which is what they're doing. As you can see, they moved 100 points now within the last minute. You know, they went up from that 40-point lead to a 100-point lead. They really are now moving ahead very quickly. They're not letting anyone past, and if they can hold this lead, they really are in for a solid win here from Team Paradigm, pulling it back from that 4-5 situation they ended up in. But they have pulled it back with great play from the 2 players we've been following, as well as the rest of the team. But you can see Matchless Gaming really have pushed hard. Given a different situation, they might have been able to pull it back. They pushed really well against Team Paradigm in the early game. As you can see, Molden is just trying to take down this Ranger. He knows if he can get that weak link down, get the power down before that Necro can actually come in from their team to just add in that extra bit of condition damage. You can see that this engineer is really struggling here a little bit. He's not actually been able to put up much of a fight against Molden. Molden has a bit of a hard counter to engineers in reality. Most engineers run condition damage builds, Molden's running a burst build, and when those two clash, burst normally comes out on top because you have to be pretty well timed to get that condition damage kill, because of course condition damage is dot them up and run away, but you also have to keep making sure you're dotting them up. And of course, with Bull's Charge and Frenzy, Team Paradigm's Molden really does get that advantage over condition damage builds, even more so with one who's got a low health, which is kind of a testament to how you have to spec engineers this side of the game. As you can see, they really are just trying to mop up. They're really far ahead now. They're just trying to clean up everything. They want to cause a bit of harassment, hold down all the players. Molden is down. Ajin's just trying to do as much as he can over on this side, trying to keep himself up, but really just trying to keep them busy. If you look what he's doing, you know, he doesn't want to get that kill particularly on there. He did go for the try and like just get the cheeky snipe there, try and get the last hit to get him. Molden comes up from the rally and is now moving over. He sees that warrior over here is going very low and is already being teamed up. Sees what he can do to help out his teammates, because one of them is already down, and he is going to try and res him back up once he gets this warrior down. As you can see, Team Paradigm getting very close to the win here. Matchless Gaming very far behind at this point. Not a lot they can do to pull it back, and it does look like it's going to be the win to Team Paradigm. Not anything they can do to turn around at this point. 4 points from the end, really solid play by both teams. As I said, Matchless Gaming were exactly where they needed to be throughout the entire game, and Team Paradigm were just where they needed to be as well. They were really pushing hard, and you can see that they did come out on top. There are the scores, and they really have pulled out. Molden showing the testament of his two-handed burst build by getting the most kills on his team. Not really that many caps, but he doesn't need to when he's got that going for him.